everybody. Welcome to the podcast. Thank you so much, everybody, for watching or listening in. I'm joined today by two of some of my very, very favorite people at the Chronicle. This is truly going to be a banger of all banger episodes. It's going to be absolutely immaculate. So really briefly, before we start to talk about what we're going to talk about, I would love if my two guests could introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about who you are and sort of what you do for the Chronicle. Let's start with Diana.
I'm Diana Daniels. I'm a staff reporter at the Chronicle. I've been there for about 3 semesters now.
Yeah, you're a veteran, dude.
Yeah.
You're old.
Okay, I get that a lot.
Diana, our audience, I'm sure, will find this out. Diana has heavy mom energy, loving mother energy. It's beautiful.
Oh God.
It is. You created such a. I met Diana, my first semester at the Chronicle. She created such a nurturing presence over the reporting desk. It was absolutely incredible. And Diana sat to the right of me, and she was like the angel on my shoulder. And then sitting to the left of me, of course, was the devil on my shoulder, Matushka. Matus, tell us a little bit about yourself, man.
So my name is Matush Janik. I think I've also been working at the Chronicle for a year now, or it's my second year starting right now.
Yeah.
So, but I also used to work for another publication, Austin Talks, which is like a West Side publication through the communications department. And yeah, I mean, I was definitely that little devil on your shoulder. I mean, you would do some pretty dumb stuff, man.
Some call it dumb. I call it necessary. All right. Because sometimes you just got to live a little bit. That's where this podcast came from. Chronicle staff, everybody's so work orientated. People needed time to relax and get paid for it. So really, you're welcome. All right. This is my gift to you guys. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. All right.
I'll take it.
Now that
very appreciative.
Now that we've gotten the thanks out of the way, we're talking about everything video game related this episode, which I'm super excited about. I've been wanting to do this episode for a while, and the reception from the staff was pretty excited as well, because we have a lot of gamers on staff, a lot of interesting takes. I think a good place to start really quickly, let's sort of give our audience an idea of what sort of side of the gaming spectrum we come from. Diana, what have you been playing recently, and what are some of your go-tos, would you say?
Oh God, recently, let's see, I've been taking a trip down memory lane with things like Soul Calibur.
Oh, seriously?
Some Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's been super weird, especially with this whole new PlayStation 5 and all that.
Yeah. Have you been playing the old ones?
Yeah, I have actually.
Sick.
Because I grew up with a brother, so of course I had no choice but to game.
Yeah,
so, grew up with the PS2, the GameCube, the Sega Genesis, you name it, we had it.
That's sick, dude. How about you, Matus? Where do you come from?
Probably really heavy FPS. Like I was kind of like looking back on my catalog. There's a lot of FPSs. Like I'm a Call of Duty kid, which I'm not ashamed of saying that. First of all, okay.
There's no shame. There's no shame
in it. There's a lot of shame on Call of Duty, which I mean, I think it's well deserved. But yeah, it's mostly that. I've been picking up like JRPG stuff. Like I think I tried playing a little bit of FF7, Final Fantasy 7.
The remake or the original?
Original. I really couldn't get through that, but I mean, I like Persona. Persona 4 and 5 are pretty decent.
Yeah.
I've been going through it. I think I went through 5 pretty fast during quarantine.
Right.
Like 60 hours in like 2 weeks.
Wow, that's pretty crazy.
Oh.
It's kind of, I don't know if it's healthy.
That's heavy. Yo, we don't need healthy, bro. Healthy is whatever. And Matus, you have recently been converted to the PC gaming world, right?
Oh yeah.
How's that
PC
been?
Master Race. Oh no,
Seriously.
I mean, it's okay. I mean, it's a little iffy. Like shit. I mean, I had to build it.
Yeah, that's the fun part, bro.
The first issue was building it, and then I didn't realize during COVID that everyone was building one. So it was hard to get parts. But I mean, it's nice now.
Now that you have it, you like it?
I rarely use it for any other game besides League of Legends, but
how are you going to spend $800 on a machine I sent you the parts for and play League of Legends?
Okay. You sent me the parts, then you said you were going to help me build it.
And you did not request my help. You did not request my help when the parts came in. So
I didn't realize this was Best Buy and he had to call in Geek Squad over here.
Hey.
No. I called in a Polish friend of mine, a fellow Slav. All right.
Yeah, okay.
He got his Slavic technician hands and he went into work. Got the BIOS working.
Oh my God. So that's where I come from. I've been PC since I came out of the womb, dude. Literally, first game I ever played, Doom, on my dad's old dinosaur computer. And so I tried to convert Matus over there, and it hurts seeing him play League of Legends because I used to be a Dota fiend back in the day. We're talking, I used to bring Dota 1 and World of Warcraft and Diablo 2 on a flash drive and play it during computer lab in all my classes in middle school. And we would just because we would do all the work in like 10 minutes, and then we would just play Dota, and we would alt tab when they would like walk around the room. But yeah, so I'm old school when it comes to that stuff. But recently, I've also been playing a lot of Persona, which I've been enjoying. I'm not a JRPG guy, but that's been kind of interesting. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on in the episode. But that being said, we do have a lot to talk about. The first thing that's been on my mind recently, I'm a huge CD Projekt Red fan. My favorite game of all time is The Witcher 3, right? I think that's like one of the greatest games ever made. I absolutely love it. And so obviously I've been super, super excited for the upcoming release of Cyberpunk, which I believe is next month, right? Is that right?
No, yeah. I think it's
right?
the 16th of November.
Yeah, it's like mid-November. But CG Projekt Red has been receiving a lot of flack. I sent you guys sort of that literature on it. But there's a lot of stuff coming at them recently with sort of mandatory crunch that they've been putting their employees on, which I know is kind of like a trend in the industry, for better or for worse. And then at the same time, there's been some really, really interesting things happening regarding that game and conversations being held, sort of when it comes to representation in video games, which is really what caught my eye. There was news that came out from Polygon and a couple other places not too long ago about some ads that were featured in Cyberpunk, which featured like a trans model in it. And the depiction was, was somebody who looked a little more femme, but literally had like a giant phallus pushing through their, like a leotard, essentially, which is obviously not a great depiction of that type of people. It's not realistic. It's not very sensitive either.
Yeah.
And, the big defense for it was like, well, Cyberpunk's a game about capitalist exploitation, right? Or you have these horrible, corporations that are sort of just taking this stuff and running with it, which really made me think about, sort of what, whether or not context in a game matters when it comes to representation of sensitive groups. There's even more, because there's like a gang in Cyberpunk called the Voodoo Boys, which, and in the game, they all have, like a pretty heavy African accent, and like all that is represented in the way they dress and all this stuff. And a lot of people felt that it's not very sensitive. And I'm sort of curious on what you guys think. Has the question of representation in games have been on your mind? Have you guys sort of seen any of this drama surrounding Cyberpunk recently?
I mean, you want to go first?
I guess. I mean, I've been kind of following Cyberpunk since it was like first released in 2012 E3. Like when I think it was the Bullets trailer.
Yeah,
I was playing that. Yeah, it was that really cool song, and everyone was just like, "What is this game?" Like everyone knew CD Projekt Red because of Witcher and everything like that, so they were kind of just interested to see what this was. But then I think with the context argument, and I think especially with this, how the representation of sex and gender and all those kind of identities is like kind of iffy. But I mean, when you go into context of like the cyberpunk world, like I don't know who the creator's name is exactly, but I mean, when you go back to the old tabletop,
I think it was Mike Pondsmith or something like that. Yeah,
Mike Pondsmith. Yeah. So like when you go back to seeing like the old tabletop RPG style and all the booklets and all the kind of background and lore, you kind of learn a few things. Like I know that the Voodoo Boys that you pointed out with a very heavily like African accent, and then they also have like the imagery involved in there too with the gang. But I think that originally was a gang like from the tabletop RPG. I think it was like Cyberpunk 2020 or whatever that name was. They were like a group of white kids who adopted the whole like voodoo style, and they like kind of just gentrified the style, and they kind of took it for their own, which I think now that 2077, because it kind of worked chronologically in the storyline of Cyberpunk, that this is kind of like the new Voodoo Boys, where like they're taking the rightful place of the gang and their identity.
Right. I see.
But there's even that context with like even that transsexual, I guess, imagery they had in that one ad from a year ago that got called out in one of the trailers. I mean, even stuff like that, it's like, how much do you decide to be like very vocal about this issue, or how much do you make it evident or visual in the game? And I think that's kind of tough, because when you're rolling out this game, it's obviously you're pushing it to FPS consumers because it's an FPS, like, and it's kind of tough because you're not going to tell a person who plays an FPS to like, all right, sit down, do the lore, do all the RPG stuff, get in the tabletop stuff. It's like, that's hard to do. Like, you can't make someone like sit down and read all the books possible behind this one thing. Like, maybe I will sit down and read a Halo book once in a time, just read that, try to get my background knowledge on it. But
you can do more than that. Yeah, more.
I could do more than that,
bro.
but yeah. But that's the thing. Like, you're not gonna make someone do that.
Yeah.
It's you gotta be kind of, I don't know. You gotta be more careful, or I should say, more exact with your attempt and that kind of thing. Like, if you're gonna include different voices and different identities, you should be more, I don't know, progressive or constructive in your kind of imagery.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Diana, what do you think about some of this stuff?
Well, Matus is right. Like, why would you necessarily go looking for the lore if you don't really care about it? Because as somebody who likes to play certain games, like even Nier Automata, like you won't see me go back and like read the lore until like I finish it like at least twice. So there are at least some people who might not go back or even care, I guess. I hate to say that they might not care about it, but I feel as though the gaming community is heavily male dominated. So of course, some men or some players might be less likely to actually pay attention to it or even kind of care that it's in there.
Yeah, I know what you mean. And I think a lot of it is interesting when it comes to that stuff, because like one of the common sort of defenses of it that I see is like, well, it's a Polish developer and it's not as offensive as, in Poland or whatever it is. So the question for me, and I honestly, I don't even know, when it comes to like an answer for this stuff. Well, it's like, well, if it is a Polish developer, obviously they're creating that game sort of with the, with the mores and sort of the stuff that, they've grown up in and they understand is right and they understand is wrong, but it's being sold in America, right? And they're selling to a large American audience, probably larger than their Polish audience, right? Because of just, numbers alone. Do you think that sort of plays a role? Does that context sort of play a role about what you should and should not depict, or, about sensitivity or anything like that?
Well, I mean, I think specifically with Poland, like, I mean, I'm Polish, my parents are from Poland, that kind of thing. I mean, I try to stay up to date on the politics over there, and I mean, it's not a good site over there for LGBTQ representation. It's very, very anti, gay and anti-homosexual and anti a lot of things. It's kind of crazy. And I mean, even the president himself has said it's like these are ideologies, not identities.
Really?
It's kind of it's a very weird topic over there because, a lot of people are, I mean, old world is the best way of putting it, very Catholic heavy, that kind of stuff. But I mean, you're seeing a movement there, and maybe that's why you kind of see this kind of, I guess, how you said earlier, this imagery, but also with like the trans person. Why is it so blown out of proportion? Is this a message about like corporations or the future, how these things are going to be taken? But I mean, even for a larger audience, like outside of Poland or in Poland, like, I don't know, it's the same thing in America. Like, you'll have those people who will read or who will understand the context, and then you'll also have the same amount of people just going through the game, doing whatever they want, kind of going through the storylines that they want to do. But I mean, I don't know. Like, I really don't know if there's a good way of trying to market this kind of stuff to certain crowds.
Yeah. Anna, what do you think?
Well, since, the West is very different, having a Western audience or kind of marketing towards that seems like the smartest thing anybody could do, really, because of course, America, we're going to spend our money on games, be it $50, be it $100. So at this point, it feels as though it could be just a little push at the end, like, hey, we're doing this to talk about capitalism because capitalism is such a trend right now. So why not kind of market off of that, buy our game and feed into more capitalism? So, it just kind of feels like it may be more about sales than anything.
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, that's and something Matu said, I feel like plays into that. Is like Matu said this interesting phrase. He said, they see them as ideologies rather than identities, right? Which kind of has this idea like they can be picked up and dropped, and you can move between them, and it's not like an intrinsic thing. For me, if I'm like playing Cyberpunk and I'm playing my character, which is probably going to look like me, right? Like the fact that I can jump between the Voodoo Boys and like the Tigers, which is like a predominantly like an Asian gang or whatever it is, and like all this different stuff, I think is really kind of odd. Like, you can just pick it up and leave that stuff, because it seems like what they're trying to do with these different factions is really lock them down on like cultural, identity and things like that. I don't know. That strikes me sort of in a very, very weird way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And they're also really like stereotypical. I
they
mean,
are
like,
super.
Super. Like, even in that one trailer, it looked like something out of Saints Row. Like, It was really hard to watch after a certain point because I felt like I was watching a Saints Row 2 trailer. It's just like,
oh, that's a low blow, man. That's
I know.
brutal. That's a brutal thing to say, bro.
And I liked all their trailers prior to that. Like their trailers were amazing. Like, you know, it was a story trailer about, you know, oh, who's samurai or what's this shit or like all that kind of stuff. But I mean, the gang trailer seems like they didn't really try. Like,
yeah,
it felt very weird.
Yeah, no, I get you. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm gonna buy it either way. I feel like I have to.
Yeah, I'm gonna 100% buy it.
I don't know. I mean, that's why I feel weird about it because CD Projekt Red's my favorite developer ever. You know what I mean? Like I love them so much, so it's kind of odd to see them in this position of you know, this it's an odd sort of the place to be with them. But transitioning slightly, Matheus, I know you know a lot about sort of this crunch thing that they've been dealing with recently.
Oh yeah.
Could you comment on that a little bit? Give us a little bit of a briefer on what the hell's going on with that.
Well, I feel like, I mean, we could all comment on this because I feel like every one of us has probably had a job that's crunched, you know, really put you under pressure and all that kind of stuff. But I mean, what's going on over there right now is I think back in 2017, and they did an article with Eurogamer, and it was one of the lead developers, and they were being very vocal about like being anti-crunch, like, you know, we're not going to make people work over 60 hours a week, that sort of deal. And you kind of slowly saw comments of like, well, this might not be indefinite. And then I think last year they said it was definitely not going to be a crunch. But I mean, obviously now between like, I think wherever they did the article, I think it was at the end of September that Jason Schreier reported on it at Bloomberg. And to November 16th, when the game's released, they're going to be just working an extra day a week. So I think it's going to be 6-day work weeks now. And there's some kind of talks about like Polish labor laws, even though that most of those developers or some of those developers are outside of that country. And then you also have the factor of contractors, which are like, they're specifically hired for that time period to work under that time period. So, I mean, you guys kind of get the idea of like, they're just working more, but it's not in terms of just like, you're not getting paid extra. No, they are getting paid extra.
Oh yeah.
10% of the, you know, sales are going towards the development staff and, you know, just, you know, raises in that kind of sense. But it's going to be interesting because I don't know if this is going to push people away from buying the game. You know, like I know a lot of people who are anti-crunch, they won't buy a game if it's been crunched. Yeah. So that's also a thing. But there's also the factor of like, should the developers be proud of this? I think that was also a discussion I saw on the internet. Yeah. It's like, you know, there's some like outcry on like social media, like everyone is just, you know, should you be proud of something that you had to crunch for? And there's some people saying, oh, you're being proud of this because, you know, you worked all these people dry and here's the product and blah, blah, blah. But it's still kind of weird because, you know, some of these people might have been working on this since 2012 or prior to that because it's been in development for like over 10 years. So it's kind of like seeing how this conversation is going to go until release date.
Yeah, I get you. Yeah, and I mean, and I know that that's pretty common throughout games. I don't know about if paid crunch is common, but I know that crunch is common. And I totally feel you about having to work a job that has been like that before. Have you guys had horrible experiences having to work overtime?
I mean, don't we all?
Where was it for you, Diana? What's your horror story?
I will not say.
Oh, come on.
Comment.
Oh,
no comment.
Dude, give us a hint. Just give it a little bitty hint. No?
No, thank you.
I'll say it.
Oh God, no. But it just feels like a lot of jobs that we work. It feels like sometimes we put in more hours than we're actually working to be paid for. So it's really interesting to hear that you said that they will be paid back in a sense. So that kind of also asks the question, well, does that mean they're going to work as hard as they originally did?
Yeah, right.
Yeah. It's just a weird conversation to have because it's like, well, you know, it is bad, but I mean, how bad is it in a certain context? Like if you are paying them extra, it's not like you're not building an entire game from like today to then. It's like
from like free labor.
Yeah, it's just like it's probably just gonna be bugs. Maybe it's just some other stuff because I mean the game is gold, so they just need to like polish it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But I mean it's gonna be weird.
No, definitely. Well, and I feel like that conversation of like I feel like you hear that a lot, and maybe you guys relate to this as journalists, but I feel like you hear that a lot when you're in a line of work that's seen like not as sort of just like a 9 to 5, like you do it just to get paid, but something you find joy in, or it's like, you'll complain about the fact that you're being overworked, and people are like, well, what, isn't that your dream? You know what I mean? Like, isn't that something that you've always wanted to do? Have you guys sort of experienced any of that sort of as a journalist? Because I know you guys work long hours, over what you may have to for an article, because like news happens when news happens, right?
Yeah. It's been a lot of nights of, I can't put my phone on do not disturb.
Right.
Is the job ever fully done? That kind of thing.
So when people come to you, Diana, and they're like, well, why are you complaining, right? Like, do you want to do that? Like, what? Isn't that frustrating?
Yeah, which is why usually I don't complain. So that way no one can say anything to me about it.
Ditto, honestly.
You're stronger than me. You both are stronger than me. All I do is complain.
I mean, then you can complain for us. So,
so
it works out.
The voice of the people.
Boy.
Yo, I would love that, dude. I could be like an elected representative and I can just complain. Isn't that what politicians do? Ooh, burn. Youch. Okay, moving on.
What was that?
That was just a little bit I do. I do bits on this show, for comedic effect. I like to get the people going.
Okay.
Was that the third bit or the fourth bit you have ever done? Or like,
honestly, I have lost count. Dude, it's all one. Life is all just one bit. The one of the developers at CD Projekt Red, I was reading more about this, sort of what the defense was for the crunch, right? And one of them, what was his name? His name was Lucas Szkapowski or something.
Yep.
And
probably something ski.
He said, I must disappoint you. Game developer managers are not the proverbial capitalists, exploiters who count money while smoking a cigar and from time to time glance at the oppressed developers. And then he went on to talk about, seriously, I have the impression that some people preferred us to be bad just to have a foundation for their ideological narrative. I think that last sentence is really, really interesting.
That's probably directed at Jason Schreier.
You think? Yeah. So like, how much of this, how much of sort of this, like, oh, you're horrible, you're making them a crunch. How much of that do you guys buy? Who do you trust in a situation like that? You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of a tricky spot to be, right?
I mean, that guy's the boss. He's the lead dev. I mean, he's still your boss. I mean, like, I don't know if I can actually believe him. I mean, I could believe him as a consumer, obviously, because he's going to be selling me a game that I'm probably going to buy in a month. But I don't know if I would believe him as an employee. Like, if I was working under him, I'd be kind of like, well, I don't know. I mean, I saw you smoking cigars and drinking bourbon outside last week. So,
yeah,
like, that kind of thing where I don't have that insight. Like, I'm not an employee there, where probably if we could talk to one of those employees, I mean, we'd probably get a better insight. But it's just like, just knowing, it's hard. It's a hard quote to like actually get something out of, because it's just a jab.
Well, he's deflecting,
Oh yeah.
I mean, if you were in that situation, you'd probably deflect too, because usually the boss likes to think in a way that they're doing what's best for the company. But in that case, it feels kind of like you have to trust the employee,
right?
Since they're the one who has their quote unquote boots to the ground, who's like doing all the work here. So
yeah, that's true. I feel like I'm on like that same wavelength, Diana, where it's like I think I tend to sort of to try to see it from the employee's point of view. You know what I mean? You want to believe the victim. You don't want to try to sow doubt, because why would somebody I don't really see why somebody would come out and like create allegations for no reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess we'll sort of have to see how it plays out, because the game could suck, and then what?
Yeah. It could 100% suck.
And then people will be mad. Right now, if the game is great, people are like, all right, whatever. But if it sucks, then people are going to be pissed. So I think there'll be more news to come. I think we could sort of transition a little bit and get back to sort of what we were talking about earlier. Diana, you had us watch a wonderful video by Philip DeFranco, who I hadn't watched since I was like 8. So that was like a throwback, dude. I didn't know he was still making videos. That's not me coming at you. I'm not coming at you. Diana,
I feel attacked.
Diana,
I feel attacked.
Hasn't watched Philip DeFranco since he played Pop Tropica.
No,
what?
First of all, I used to play Pop Tropica in high school.
Yes, we all did.
Hell yeah. I would never come at you, Diana. I just didn't know he was still making videos. But tell us a little bit about sort of what he was talking about, because I know this is something that you're heated about.
Okay, I won't say I'm heated about it. I'm
Okay,
just
you're not heated.
slightly disappointed.
But no, that's the Diana classic, bro. It's slightly disappointed.
Slightly disappointed, slightly.
And typically in the office, that was directed at me.
Okay, no, it wasn't.
I know.
But no, so a while ago he posted a video about E3 and how one of the female reporters wrote an article about women gamers and what women like to play, quoting allegedly real experts. And so
real life women. Wow. Wow. They got real life women for that article.
And I mean, some of the things on the list, like women love to play Sudoku, women gamers love Kim Kardashian's mobile game, things like that. It was very cringy to listen to in so many words, and then cringe to look at, because I feel like, yes, women can be pretty large consumers when it comes to gaming. And usually it will be like a mobile game or whatever, like Candy Crush. But to read Sudoku?
Right.
Yeah.
That was
when's the last time you played Sudoku, Diana?
I don't.
Never played Sudoku.
Never. Yeah. Like,
it's not for me. But maybe it is for somebody else. I'm not judging, but it just felt a little weird and kind of like they checked with one demographic, maybe.
Right.
That almost felt like they asked their grandparents or something.
Exactly. Like, hey, grandma, what do you like to play? You know, you game on the side, right? Crossword puzzles.
Yeah. That's interesting. Well, and then I'm looking it up right now. There's a statistic that says like it's like 47% of like most of pretty much all gamers are women, right? And so to see something like that, it's like obviously there is a lack of research done there, right? Like there's I just I can't buy that. I feel like it shows sort of how out of touch the industry is with like literally almost half their fan base or their their consumers, right?
You would think, but because I personally, my best friend, she recently just got into gaming more, and so she's doing PC gaming, not on the level of Matus, but
Hey, Matus isn't on any level. He's playing League of Legends, bro.
Still playing League.
It's a fate worse than death, man.
But no, like she just got no, but she'll play things like Undertale, or she'll like ask me like, hey, what's a good game like I should get into that isn't necessarily an FPS? And so it's really interesting to see kind of that juxtaposition between some of the women that I know as opposed to what people think we like to play.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. And so it's like I said, I'm very disappointed that they didn't do further research because, of course, women love things like Fallout. Women love things like Hearthstone, if you want. Stuff like that. Like, I mean, even if you look on like games. Exactly, or even if you look on when TBS and TNT used to do like their e-gaming or whatever, like their e-league, there would be at least like one female player sometimes. So like they exist
sometimes. Because that's like another thing that I'm interested in is like obviously this demographic is there, like these people are there, but I think when it comes to like the coverage of games, it's so many of the people that are, like that work in games, especially too, right? Like that gap is so apparent, right?
Yeah. And it's going to be there for a hot minute. It feels like.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel like in a way it's not going to change for a while. Because look how long it took for, I guess, people of color to even be featured in these games or to be these commentators.
Yeah.
So it's going to take slightly longer for women to get more into commentary, things like that. Because while we do have Eurogamer and Outside Xbox, we no longer have things like G4, which used to come on TV. Yes, I am dating myself with G4.
Dude, I love G4. I grew up on G4. G4 was
Attack
dope.
of the Show.
Shout out G4, dude. Attack of the Show is sick. Was Jessica Chobot on that, or was she on?
No.
Wait, Jeff Keighley, right? He was on it? Yeah. Jessica Chobot was on IGN. I remember that. Continue. Sorry.
I don't even know where I was, but you went off on that tangent.
We tried to distract about G4.
But I feel like it's gonna take some time.
Yeah.
Especially with the fan base in a way, because it's not exactly welcoming.
Yeah, no, well, that's another thing that came to my mind when I was like watching this video is like, I feel like especially when it comes to, women who are gamers, like there's such a, and like I know this because I grew up, playing Call of Duty on the Xbox. There's like it's like an infantilization of like women that play games. Like if you're playing a multiplayer game, and there's a woman hops on the mic, it's like everybody goes berserk for a moment. It's weird.
A girl in the lobby?
Oh. Yeah, seriously, it's so we, and I have my friend Rebecca and I play a decent amount of games together, and it's one of those things. We used to play League back before I grew up, unlike some people.
Oh, okay. Come on, get on Silver 4 like me.
And I actually used to be Silver 4, and then I quit. But yeah, there's like a really weird dynamic there where it's like I follow this Twitter account called like Out of Context Xbox Live Messages, and there's a lot of like, could I help you play this game, milady? Things like that,
Yeah,
I
definitely.
No, I remember because I don't even think I played with like a girl when I was growing up, but like now I still sort of get in the lobbies where I find people who are chicks and they're in lobbies. It's just like, okay, cool. But then it's still the same response. It's not like something that's predated back to Xbox 360. It still happens. Like I'll get on a Call of Duty. I'll get on a Call of Duty lobby and I'll just hear all this like berating on like one chick. And it's just like, it's insane. It's just kind of just, I don't know. It definitely instills this thing in my head where like I almost just want to mute all the time. And it's the same thing goes for League too. Like I'll mute chat.
Oh well, in League you have to. It's so toxic, right?
It's so toxic.
Yeah.
But like just you hear shit and it's just like, how is this still a thing? Like it's been like almost like 10, 12 years like since probably Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, which I think is personally like, where all that started. But
yeah.
The very toxic chats. But I mean, it's just like, you kind of surprise yourself when you hop into a lobby and you're like, well, okay, it still hasn't changed. Like, still about the same stuff going around.
Yeah, it's odd. I feel like a lot of it comes from the fact, and kind of going back to like representation, I feel like a lot of it comes down to, like the people that were spearheading like new tech and games when it really started to come around, like was predominantly, straight white men, because they had access to the tools to make games, right? Because their socioeconomic status, right? So like, I feel like this issue goes so much deeper than I think a lot of people start to take a look at it, right? And I think it's treated as sort of just a fact of the situation when it doesn't need to be. And I think it's changing now that like development tools are getting way easier to access, right? And tech is a lot easier to get into and things like this. I think it's getting better, but I'm totally with you, Diana, where like it's going to take a minute,
Yeah, definitely. Or even like kind of how you guys are talking about the lobbies. Like sometimes I'll go on Twitch and I'll see like a female gamer. She'll be playing GTA 5 and like the chat will be so toxic. Or she'll hop on a server and the next thing you know, it's a bunch of 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
Making really rude comments.
Oh, yeah. Rude's one way to put it, man. Those 12-year-olds.
Yeah.
I'm trying to be nice.
That's the Diana classic. You're always so nice. You're always so nice.
I still remember like really old E3s, like when probably like it was probably a Ubisoft presentation where they like showed off these like very weird, like obviously they were like centered towards like a woman crowd or a girl crowd of gamers, but they were like weird titles where it's just like, I remember it was like Nintendo DS, like My Barbie Dream House game or some other kind of like random ass fashion games. It's like I don't think people who are video gamers want to play those. They're just most likely going to be like one thing after another, and it's the levels are always repeating. Or it was weird to see that, but like I guess you could say the quality of games has gotten better, but still that one aspect of like inclusion and diversity is still kind of lost.
No, definitely. Yeah, and I think it's on every level. It's in the games, it's outside the games, it's outside the coverage of the games, like all that stuff. I don't know. How do we fix it? What do we do? You guys got an answer?
I don't think we can fix this.
I ain't got no answer.
Buy more video games.
Well, then it's like,
I don't know.
No, because then that's encouraging them.
Yeah, like
and buy someone an Xbox.
I'm not. You can buy me an Xbox One though. Xbox One X, the refrigerator.
The Series X. Yeah, I'm trying to get one.
Is that what it's called? It's called the Xbox Series X.
Xbox One Series X.
What an atrocious title.
It's too long.
It's a horrible name.
And here's PlayStation with PlayStation 1, PlayStation 2.
They didn't even try to think about it, bro. They were like, whatever.
Just put a number on it.
Are you guys hopping on the next gen wave?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
For real?
sure. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
PS5 or XBSX?
I'm a PlayStation family. I have no choice.
Really? Yeah.
Yeah, no choice in the
Xbox.
matter.
Oh, dang.
Xbox.
Wow. Okay.
Wow.
No. Okay.
I'll never forget when the Red Ring of Death became like a really big thing.
I remember. I was
Okay.
there.
Okay. I had 2 Xboxes that I had to send to Microsoft as a kid, and they both were Red Rings of Death. Yeah, it was
Dude,
tough. All right.
We're really showing our age on this episode. That's old now, man.
That's old, bro.
It feels like
That's
yesterday.
really old.
That feels like yesterday, dude.
Dude, no,
That's
but
sick.
like, I think I'm trying to ask my cousin who works for Microsoft. I know it
Mhm.
sounds like one of those Xbox kids who's like, my cousin works at Microsoft and you can
Makes me
hack
the-
your account. Like, no, but like straight up, like I have a cousin who works with Microsoft. I think she's on like the social media or marketing team, but she bought 2. I think one off of Best Buy and the other off of Amazon. Pre-ordered, I should say. So I'm gonna, try and sneak my way in there and get the other, give her
Oh,
$500.
She's gonna hear this. No, she's gonna hear this and be like, my price has just gone up.
Yeah, dude.
I did tell her I'd pay double. I did say that.
Oh my god.
I did say that.
Why? Why would you pay double?
Bro, I have
Why?
a collection of games that I can't even play on my Xbox 360 because it doesn't go back that far.
Oh my god. Dude,
You know?
I don't think I'm gonna hop on next gen unless there is one game, unless Bloodborne 2 comes out. I don't think I'm gonna get anything because I don't want an Xbox, or I am gonna get a PS5 when the new God of War comes out. But that's the only reason. That's all I care about, honestly. There's no reason to get another one. If you have a PC, dude.
I mean, you're not wrong, especially since we do have like emulator capabilities.
Yeah,
so.
seriously.
Oh yeah. Have you guys done that yet? Or
I have.
Can I legally say that? Can I legally say
yeah,
that?
that's true. I
Listen.
have never emulated anything.
If it's not illegal, yeah.
Is
Um,
that? I'm
Wait,
pretty sure it's
wait.
illegal. I'm pretty
Okay.
sure we're incriminating ourselves.
Well,
FBI agent, FBI agent. If you hear this, never in my life have I played Shaq Fu.
Yeah,
FBI agent, if you're hearing this, my roommate totally did not download 100 different GameCube games on his Wii. No,
my
yes,
God.
no. He definitely did not download Chibi Robo or RE4.
Chibi Robo. Yo, all right, hold on. Now we're in throwback territory. You guys got to tell me, what is your fondest gaming related memory ever? Period. What is it?
Ooh.
Do you have
Oh,
one that comes? I'm
God.
trying to think of mine because there's a lot.
Yeah, there are a
there's-
lot.
I had a PlayStation 2, so like, but I didn't play any Final Fantasy games or like, I didn't even touch Kingdom Hearts. Like, I remember
did.
going to the video store, renting Kingdom Hearts, taking it home, opening up the case, and the disc had like the hugest scratch across the
Were you
game.
renting from Family Video?
No, it was like some like family place.
Oh, it was
It
So
so
it
wasn't-
wasn't Blockbuster or Hollywood Video.
No, it was
Had to
local.
be
It was
Family
very
Video.
local.
Family Video, man.
Get a pizza, get
Oh,
a game.
Dude,
Oh God,
That's so
that was
cozy.
the best.
dude,
That was
rest
the
in
best.
peace to rental stores. Just the great. That's a good answer, actually, Matus. The rental stores.
Rental stores.
Those are so beautiful, man.
Go read my story on the death of rental stores.
I know,
It's around
dude.
the topic.
Dude, I read
Actually,
that. Oh my god. What was
read
that
that.
place called? I was gonna go there too. And then
Odd
it closed.
Obsession. I remember you were going to go to Odd Obsession. It was
Turkish.
not in the cards.
What was it? Turkish Exorcist or something like that?
Turkish Exorcist.
They had
Of course.
a photo on their Google search page that said Turkish Exorcist, and I
Oh
was
my
like,
God.
I need that movie.
No.
I need that movie. That's so sick. Diana, what's your fondest gaming memory?
Oh
Is there one that
God.
comes to mind?
I guess it would have to be playing things like Boombots with my brother.
What's
I'm like-
Boombots?
What is
Basically, think about low budget Transformers, and then it's a fighting game.
Yeah.
So it was things like that, I guess, kind of being like a kid and playing with like my brother who's 8 years older than me. And
Yeah.
then we finally revisit it years later when I can finally use the controls correctly.
Yeah. That's sick.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm gonna ask, do all of you have older siblings?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you
Yeah.
all played video games with your older siblings?
A little
Yeah.
bit. A little bit.
All right. Did your older sibling ever unplug this Player 2 controller when playing co-op games or anything like that?
No.
Yes. So I would
No.
Oh.
retaliate.
Oh God.
You were unlucky. I was lucky.
No, yeah, I didn't have to deal with that either. God damn.
No unplugging. Yeah, that would piss me off, man. That would really piss me off. But we didn't. I used to watch him play video games a lot. Like
Yeah,
when I was young, I used to watch my brother play God of War, and I was like, I feel like that explains a lot about me, how I am today. Honestly, I feel like
yeah.
my first games were Doom and God of War.
I used to watch my brother play Final Fantasy, so for me to go
Yeah.
back and play it all these years later has been really interesting because
That's cool.
my strategy is not the same as his. So
What's your strategy?
we go in guns blazing in so many words.
Hell yeah.
Guns blazing.
Ka.
Yeah, I remember doing that with my brother too, and just watching him play like Call of Duty Big Red 1. Like,
oh yeah,
that was
yeah.
the only Call of Duty game we had. So it would just be repeats of the same like 8 to 10 levels, and I was just like, this is amazing. We're still doing it.
Yeah,
Don't
dude.
even get to touch the controller.
Yeah, man. I think for me, I'm mixed because I have a lot of really great Call of Duty memories because that was like the 8th grade, 7th grade game to come home from school and play for like 10 hours straight. Call of Duty Black Ops 1 on the Xbox 360. I went crazy on that. But I think honestly, dude, best gaming memories, bro. There's nothing like, honestly, like what I said earlier, bringing in a game on a flash drive and playing it at school. Dude, literally every teacher hated us, bro. We used to play it in this music class when our teacher, Mr. B, I won't say his last name because I don't think he would appreciate that. He would walk around the room to try to check up on us, and we would all alt tab when he would come around. And then our one buddy Josh didn't alt tab in time, so he caught his ass and he threw him to the other side of the room. And then Josh would just have to do his work while we would all kept playing, and we would laugh in his direction. And then my best friend Teddy went, "Hey, Mr. B, F you." And then Mr. B went, "Alex!" And he started screaming at my buddy Alex. He used to play the games with us. There's all kinds of chaos started from there, dude.
You guys sound chaotic.
Dude.
Very chaotic.
I literally still play with them every single day. Yeah, it's the best, man. Those gaming bonds run deep. They stick
I lost those bonds way long ago, man.
Really?
Dude, I remember playing like Call of Duty Ghost. Or no, I think it was Modern Warfare 3, a bunch. And then I remember I had like the same like 3 guys with me, or 4 guys. And we would all play like squad tournaments. Like you get your phone
That's
app,
sick. Yeah.
and you do your little squad tournaments, and you're
That's
like,
dope.
I gotta win 10 games of domination and 4 games of search and destroy. We would do that after school, and we would just like legit try to like kind of get these extra perks and stuff.
That's cozy, man. That's so cozy.
Is cozy your catchphrase for the day?
Dude, I just think video games are cozy. You know, now I wake up in the morning, grab a cup of Joe, play Persona 5 for like 6 hours. It's the dream, dude. It's the dream.
Just logging those hours away.
Dude.
So wait, who are you romancing? This is my question. I played the game before. yeah. So we gotta figure this out. Are you
I'm interested.
Who do you wait, Diana, Diana, have you played? This is so funny. Diana, you played Persona 5?
Yeah, I did. So I'm very interested to hear your answer here.
Who do you guys think I'm romancing in Persona 5?
See,
I will not say.
What, do you know?
No.
She doesn't know. Knows.
Dang.
Only I know.
All right. I mean, you seem like a Makoto kind of dude, but I could totally see you trying to do that one route with the teacher, whatever her name is.
Oh, don't throw. Yo, I'm not gonna lie. I contemplated it.
Oh God.
Dude, Persona 5 lets the devil out of me, man. Dude, Persona 5, for people who don't know, there's like 12 options for people you can romance. And one of them is you play as a high school sophomore, and one of them is your teacher. You know, for people that don't know. And
hypothetically, you could romance every single character. At once in one playthrough.
Yeah, you can, and then they come back to kick your ass. And the thing is that the teacher she's a maid, right? She works part-time as a maid, and so that's how you find. Anyway, so now I'm getting weird. Anyways, I did romance Makoto, but it was a very difficult decision.
Yeah. That's like everyone's thing.
Dude, I felt guilty because now, all right, well, that makes me feel horrible. But I feel guilty because, like, you know, I'm a 21-year-old dude, and like, you know, I'm playing as a high school sophomore, and I like a lot of the characters in there, but that's just not right. that's just not right. You know, I feel weird about it.
For real?
Yeah. But I was in between An and Makoto, and I kind of wish I went On.
An's probably the easiest, I think. right?
Oh well, don't
'Cause-
be mean, man.
No, I'm not being mean. I'm just
I
saying
know,
for the
I'm kidding.
requirements,
I'm putting
man.
words in your mouth. Yeah, no, but I like Ann. She knows how to have fun.
Okay, but how did you get to Makoto? My question is, did you
Yes,
just go to like?
please.
I want to know the process because it took me a
Oh,
while,
it took me
and
so long.
it's a hustle.
It took me so long to figure out Makoto because I like so many characters. I liked An, I liked Makoto, I liked Futaba a lot. Futaba's funny, you know, but like that's where I felt weird. You know what I mean? I like the teacher, the goth nurse. Everybody loves a goth nurse. Okay, so there are a lot of choices, but I think Makoto was, you know, she's cool. I like that I like her outfit when you go into the palaces. You know what I mean? She looks like a ninja. I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So did you solely pick off of outfits?
I picked based off of outfit and personality.
That's
Makoto's
code for
stats.
That's code for only outfits.
I play Persona for the plot.
So like when you wake up
So-
every morning to play Persona, you just turn it on and leave it on and
Oh.
just watch it? Or...
Okay, we are moving on
All right.
from my Persona romance. You guys are gonna get me fired, dude.
Yeah, just virtual beings that you're dating.
That game, dude. There's so much about that game that's so weird, dude. Because, dude, how are you gonna give somebody the option to date their teacher and then just not date the teacher? You know?
Just don't do it.
Yeah, I mean that's
It's-
pretty. Yeah,
No, but this is how I feel about a lot of games where they give you these choices where it's like you could pick the, you know, the normal, pretty standard option, or you could, you know, do something absolutely insane you would never do in real life.
listen, man. Not every game is Modern Warfare 2. No Russia. You don't automatically have to do that. All right.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Yo, this is a crazy episode, bro. There are some things being said.
Just saying. All right. I'm not gonna say what happens in No
Okay.
Russia. I'm
Okay.
just saying. Not every game is like that where it forces you to do those decisions. All right.
All
You
right.
have choices.
All right. Well, we got to move on briefly to one last thing I wanted to talk to you guys about. It's a question I wanted to pose to you. I saw it on Twitter and I thought it was interesting. And we're almost out of time. I saw a question. It was posted by the Xbox Twitter, I think. And it was, you know, name a game that got you through a hard time because it was like World Mental Health Day, rather. You guys have any hot picks, any suggestions for the depressed portion of our audience?
Man. Phew. Definitely not Call of Duty.
No, don't play. Have you guys had a game sort of like make a noticeable impact in your life for your mental health or whatever it is? I have, for sure.
I mean, I would have to say like Persona 5.
Really?
I mean, personally,
Yeah,
like I know it's fun. It's like we were talking about it as a joke, but like low key, like that
it's
game
an amazing
is
game.
like when I was stuck in quarantine for those like first 3 weeks and
Yeah.
there's like nowhere to go or nothing to do. I was just like sitting there. I was like, all right, I'm just guessing I'm
Persona.
playing Persona. Like,
Yeah,
and it's kind of cool because you get to see those relationships build
yeah, it's
and,
actually
like,
really fun.
and you see a story kind of develop. And then there's also like that anime portion of like where you get to kind of watch it as a show.
Yeah, that's true. It's nice.
So there's a lot of content. It's just,
Yeah.
you know, it's cozy.
Yeah, it is cozy. How about you,
There's
Diana?
that word again. There's that word again. Cozy.
We love cozy, dude. We love cozy.
Cozy.
How about you, Diana? Is there a game that comes to mind for you?
You know, there are a couple that come to mind, but
Yeah.
one that I kind of went back to play after a while because I'm very nostalgic, a little too nostalgic sometimes. And that would have to be, I guess, the Dishonored franchise.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, because I guess I kind of really like Dishonored 2 and the idea of you know, a family bonding over I won't spoil anything, but just
Yeah,
the
yeah,
idea of family working together in a sense.
Right.
Because
into that.
especially now,
Yeah.
when like you need your family if you
Yeah.
have the ability to reach out to them. So I kind of really like that. And stealth was never my thing. So
Oh.
it's been very interesting to kind of go back and see, oh, okay, I gotta crawl around here so that I
Oh,
can get
yeah,
up
yeah.
here. And then so yeah.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good answer. I haven't played those in a while.
What about you, Jonah?
Yeah. Answer the
Mm.
question.
Answer the question, Jonah.
You guys are weird, dude. You guys are weirder than me, man. Just
All right.
saying something, dude. I think it's either the most obvious answer based off I mean, you know, The Witcher 3 probably is my answer. Just because like literally like I beat that game, and I honestly feel like it made an impact in the way I live my life. Like that, I feel like that game for me is like my argument for video games or art. You know what I mean? Like the story of that game and the way, because I really also like that family dynamic, Diana. And so like the relationship between Geralt and Ciri, like honestly, dude, I was like, man, that made me think, bro. That got me up at 4 a.m. just sitting on my bed like this, you know? But game that made the worst impact on my life, Dota 2. Don't ever play Dota 2, bro. Dude, I have 1,600 hours on Dota 2. Don't you ever play that video game. That will decrease your quality of life. That's my warning.
So when you say that, like, do you mean worst impact? How? Like worst impact physically, financially?
Dude, just absolutely everything. That game made me.
Dude, this fucking game.
Brink broke you?
Brink broke me as a fucking gamer. I was so sold on this game.
Yeah.
This is why, okay. This is the whole thing where it's like, I'm still going to buy Cyberpunk, but this is probably that argument for Cyberpunk, very hyped up, very hyped, very nice cover,
Yeah, great cover.
But I was a little lad in, I think it was like 2011, and then I paid $60 for this fucking game.
Do you have the receipt?
I still have the receipt. I remember hating it too. I like forced myself to play the entire game, and I hated it every single moment.
Oh man. Wow.
Oh geez.
Don't buy new titles.
I don't think I have that. Like one of those games I look back on that I didn't enjoy. Wait, actually I take that back. One time I decided I wanted to do a co-op game. Downloaded DC Universe online for free.
Oh, it's horrible.
Terrible. It's terrible.
It's so bad. You didn't like it, Diana?
No. Thank God I didn't use any money for it.
Oh my God. I played that game when it came out, and it was the worst. It was just the worst.
Dog shit, man. Just straight
God.
dog shit.
Man, I love where this episode ended up, bro. We're just airing grievances now. It's so sick. All right. Well, hey, we are just approaching time. Are there any final remarks you guys want to throw out into the void? Yes, no? Do you have any life lessons you want to share?
Don't buy a new IP when it first comes out. See how bad it is first, then buy it.
Yeah.
Don't make decisions like these. Don't.
Those will come back to haunt you.
See, this is why
I can't. The resale value on this now is less than $1. There's people probably using this as wallpaper now, bro. Like seriously.
Yeah, that's true.
GameStop will give you 1 penny. Just 1 penny.
GameStop will force you to pay them to take it.
Yeah, GameStop will give you debt, bro.
This game is free on Steam. You know that? And it's still broken.
Really? Wow.
It's broken still.
Oh, God.
All right, hey.
That's my life lesson.
Oh my God, Diana, you got anything?
Honestly, I don't think I can follow that.
I was about to say, you got a tough one ahead of you, bro. Trying to follow that up. All right. Well, that being said, thank you guys very much for joining me on the podcast. I appreciate it. This is a fun episode. We went everywhere today, dude. This is a good one.
This was chaotic.
It was chaotic. And we keep it, that's like the reporting desk, bro. Last year's the reporting desk. We keep it chaotic. We love chaos here. But yeah, thanks guys. And thank everybody for, watching and listening. We'll see you around. Peace.